Welcome! Today we're flying a CAT II ILS approach to runway 26 right in Atlanta, Georgia. First, what is a CAT II ILS approach? There are three categories of ILS approaches: CAT I, CAT II, and CAT III. CAT I has higher minimums on the approach, and CAT II and III permit approaches to be flown to lower minimums, but require additional equipment and qualification. On the standard ILS approach, the minimums are at 1,190 feet, which is 200 feet above the runway. But what if the ceiling is lower than that? This is where flying a CAT II approach, with its lower minimums, might be the difference between landing or diverting to another airport. As you can see here, the minimums on the CAT II approach are a radio altitude of 110 feet. The note states that special aircraft and aircraft certification required. The runway visual range required also drops from the standard ILS RVR of 1,800 feet down to the CAT II's 1,200 feet. We'll join the approach at Zello. As on every ILS approach, we can use the chart's briefing strip to set up the for approach. Don't forget to set mints to a radio altitude by rotating the minimums reference selector to radio on the outer selector. We're cleared to Zello, and for the CAT II ILS approach. We'll join using LNAV, then switch to approach mode. We're on the VNAV path, so can set 2700 for the final approach fix altitude. We're descending on the VNAV path and only have to monitor the automation. If we don't like anything, we can reduce the automation, turn the autopilot off, click, and hand fly the aircraft. With the flaps set to 1, we can reduce speed to 210 knots. With flaps 5, we can set 180 knots. With the gear extended, when we are below 200 knots, we set flaps to 15 degrees. The final approach fix is our next waypoint, so we select approach mode. Once flaps are at 15 degrees, we can bug V approach, which is our flaps 30 reference speed, plus 5 knots. We'll auto-land on this approach, however some ops specs require the approach to be hand-flown from 1,000 feet. We're established on the ILS approach, and can set the missed approach altitude of 4,000 feet. The 3-degree glide slope is shown as a dashed green line on the HUD.
Traffic.
If hand flying the approach, the HUD guidance would be used throughout the landing.
500. 400.
And we have the approach lights in sight.
300. 2 approaching minimums. Minimums. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Oh, nice landing.
That concludes our brief tutorial on setting up and flying a CAT II approach. If you enjoyed, please click on like, and please consider subscribing to learn of our future videos. Thank you.